Hey guys, Lost here, and it's time for my top 5 picks for the Arma 3 mods of the month for February. Hope you guys enjoy. So if you weren't sure what that just was you saw in the intro, now you'll know. This is the USS Nimitz based on the Arma 2 port over to Arma 3. So for one reason or another, I cannot manage to launch a jet off of it. It bumps around and jiggles around and then it kind of explodes into flames, and I cannot figure out why. If you go aboard the ship and kind of search around, you will find the sign, which will give you all types of information about the actual aircraft carrier itself in real life, how many vehicles it can hold, things like that. Overall, it's a pretty cool thing. You can't drive it as far as I could tell. I couldn't find any way to steer it, but it does have hangars underneath, which you can lower docks down below so you can transport vehicles around the ship, which I think is pretty cool. So as far as utilizing it as an actual aircraft carrier to use in missions or something like that, I would probably have to say it's like 3/8 fully functional. You could probably put things on there and put ships all around it and pretend it's working pretty well, but otherwise it just sits there and looks cool, which is still fine by me. I still think it's an awesome mod. So if you are looking for something to do, download this mod with your friends and play around on this ship. It's a lot of fun to drive around in this little hangar underneath. Definitely worth checking out. Up next, we have something slightly more useful, and that is the North American T-28 Trojan. This was a plane made in the United States during the 1950s and was used a few times throughout the Vietnam War. It was later retired in 1994. This comes in two different versions, a red and white and a blue version. There also is a CAS version and a bomber version. The CAS version has 450 caliber guns on it and multiple rockets that it can fire in rapid succession to take out the enemy. The blue one has turrets as well as a few bombs to just drop to people below it. Now, my favorite subject in school does happen to be history, so when I find, neat mods that allow me to, kind of see what history was like, I always think that's pretty cool. This is a fairly small yet pretty impressive mod. I mean, you have to give modders some credit because they go out there and they make content for us for free, basically. And, for doing the job for free, it is pretty cool, and you have to give them credit for that. So you can never really hate on a mod. So far, these two planes are the only planes in the mod pack. I hope they do expand this and add a little bit more color to it, because it is a fairly cool mod, and I really enjoyed it. Definitely check it out. So down to number 3, we have the Brazilian Armed Forces mod. We can never go a mod countdown without entering the virtual arsenal to check out some gear. So here we are with another small gear add-on that resembles the Brazilian Armed Forces, and I personally like the camo quite a lot for this. This mod adds in a handful of outfits, backpacks, chest rigs, headwear, and weapons that resemble the Brazilian Armed Forces. This mod isn't as big as some other gear add-ons, but I like it just as much as anything else because it does add flavor to the game. Especially when you combine a lot of other gear add-ons, you can really get a lot of different varieties and just put together anything you really like. Not only do I think this camo is pretty cool, I think putting all this awesome gear on your guy like this makes you look pretty badass. So it's definitely a mod you should download if you want to, try out some other gear than just the vanilla Arma stuff. So we've made it down to number 2, and like I said, I am a huge fan of history. So here is Sopwith Camels. Now if you're slightly confused, that is because I'm talking about the plane notoriously used throughout World War I. These were one of the first planes ever used in combat. Its first flight was in 1916, it was later introduced a year later, and was credited with a little over 1,000 kills during the war. That is besides the point. This mod comes with about 10 different variations of these Sopwith Camels. Different colors basically is all that really changes. I decided to fly this zebra striped one because I thought it looked pretty cool. Some of you may recognize these planes if you have ever played the Daisy mod from Arma 2. These planes do show up in Arma 2 Daisy Epoch. Now, don't get ahead of yourself. These things are slightly harder to fly than they look. They are kind of slow and clumsy, but you can land them almost anywhere without having to worry about them crashing into things. They are also a lot of fun to fly around. Unfortunately, these things do not have any guns. They are just for flying. Hopefully they will put guns on these things eventually. But I definitely enjoyed flying these things in Daisy and Arma 2, and I still enjoy flying them in Arma 3. Download this mod and try these things out. So if you guys didn't notice, Arma 3 has had an update recently, and that is Eden, obviously to enhance the editing mode that Arma 3 provides for us, so we can make our own missions and customize the way we want to play things. So just quickly, when you hop into the 3D editor that it provides for us, you will see obviously options that you can use to customize, you know, the way you want your guy to move, or move soldiers around the map, you know, how to do things. It doesn't give you a whole lot of options. It gives you a few things here and there to customize it the way you want to, obviously like the normal Arma 3 editor normally would, except this next mod enhances that so you can do even more with what you're given. So if you look, you'll now see you have a lot more options when it comes to manipulating the AI you set down, or maybe the cars and trucks. You want to change things on the vehicles. My favorite thing here is you can actually change how damaged the soldier looks on the ground. So here I am just messing with some things, not really sure what all of it does. Then when I go down there and take a look at him, you notice there's blood all over him, and it looks like he's been in quite a fight. So I set all of the bars back up as far as I could go to see what he looked like, and I thought it was pretty cool. You know, he was all full of blood, pretty crazy. Of course, adding little visual things like that isn't the only things it adds. If you are really into editing and you know, make your own scenarios, I definitely recommend checking out this mod, because, you know, there are limitless amounts of things you can do with a mod like this, especially when it comes to making and customizing your own game scenario or things like that, especially in Arma 3. I want to thank you guys for watching. We are getting to the end here. I want to let you know, if you have any mod recommendations, please let me know in the comments. I always like to see what other people are trying out, because I cannot try out every mod in Arma, unfortunately. I just don't have the time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want to thank you guys again for watching. I will see you guys later.